Good morning. It's Wednesday, March 12th. This is Wake Up with KERA News. I'm Andrew Garcia, and we're in for a beautiful day here in North Texas. Sunny skies throughout the morning with highs reaching the mid-80s, but there is a decent chance we'll get some thunderstorms later this afternoon, so definitely be on the lookout for those. It's really starting to feel like spring around here. Governor Greg Abbott wants Texas to create a cyber command center to fight the growing number of data breaches across the state. We'll hear more about that after today's news. Southwest Airlines announced it'll be getting rid of its long-standing and well-loved checked bags fly free policy. Pretty soon, the option for 1 or 2 free checked bags will only be available to top-tier rewards members and business class ticket holders. This and other big changes, like the end of its open seating policy, come as Southwest tries to rebound after the pandemic and a problematic holiday season back in 2022. The Tarrant County Sheriff's Office was late in reporting an in-custody death to the State Attorney General's office. The Sheriff's Office says it filed the report on the death of Charles Stephen Johnson after it was notified of the delay, and the failure to report was because of a clerical error. Meanwhile, the Dallas County Sheriff's Office confirmed a death in jail custody yesterday. County Commissioner John Wiley Price said the 50-year-old's death was a suicide. It's currently being investigated. Governor Greg Abbott wants lawmakers to focus on cybersecurity this legislative session, including a new cyber command center to help stop attacks. Schools, hospitals, and cities have already been hit by dozens of data breaches this year. KERA's Penelope Rivera talked with All Things Considered host Justin Martin about the impact and Abbott's plan to fight back.
So, Penelope, Abbott announced this cyber command center during a State of the State speech last month. What exactly did he say about strengthening Texas cybersecurity?
So Abbott said these cyber attacks are becoming much more frequent. In fact, he said the issue is becoming a weekly occurrence. In his speech last month, he highlighted the state's need to do something to protect its infrastructure from hackers.
They could cripple our power, our water, and our communications with cyber attacks. We must deploy cutting-edge capabilities to better secure our state.
So far, about 50 data leaks have been reported to the Attorney General's website this year. Abbott didn't lay out a concrete plan, but he did say the state would partner with the University of Texas at San Antonio. The university has been a part of a group that partners with the Department of Defense to fight against cyber attacks.
50 data leaks so far this year, right? That seems like a lot, but how many people are we talking about here?
Well, that varies case by case, honestly. A breach at Lovejoy ISD east of Allen compromised the personal information of roughly 16,000 people. But more than 1 million patients had their information leaked when hackers breached the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center in Lubbock and El Paso. And the information they access includes things like names, social security numbers, addresses, and sometimes even banking information. But data breaches go beyond state and local agencies, too. Recently, an anonymous group of hackers released more than 8,000 law enforcement manuals from Frisco-based private company Lexipol. They included policies for the Dallas Police Department, Denton, and even law enforcement agencies across the country.
What happens with this information when hackers are able to get their hands on it?
Well, I spoke with Dr. Kayut Chen. He's a professor of information systems and operations management at the University of Texas at Arlington, and he told me the information could potentially be shared on the dark web. Once it's leaked there, it's basically impossible to track. People can buy and sell social security numbers and banking information anonymously. In some cases, the leaked information could also be used as ransom. Chen says other times, hackers don't even care about the money.
If the goal is to embarrass the government, or the goal is to leak secret because you don't like that particular organization, then that motivation is not going to be deterred just because of the fact that they cannot make money out of it.
If you remember back in May of 2023, the city of Dallas was hacked by a group known as Royal, and that group threatened to leak personal information on city employees if Dallas didn't pay, which did end up happening, with the city announcing in August that personal information was leaked in mid-June.
I'm curious, is anyone ever held accountable for these leaks, for these hacks?
Well, that's really hard to do. Abbott claimed these cyber attacks are coming from places like China, Iran, Russia, and other, quote, rogue outlets across the globe. But it's difficult to find out where these attacks are actually coming from because hackers have ways to hide their identity and avoid being tracked. When businesses notify people affected by a data breach, they usually refer to the hacks as, quote, an unknown third party. Because of this, Chen said people should have the incentive to protect their own personal information and not just rely on the government.
A lot of your own system, your personal system, is tied to your company, is tied to the government. And if they get into your system, they can get into other systems.
Unfortunately, hacking has become a pretty common occurrence, especially with software constantly changing and updated. It makes online systems more vulnerable to data breaches, and hackers usually find loopholes to get inside an online system.
That was KERA's Penelope Rivera talking to host Justin Martin. The Mavericks take on the San Antonio Spurs once again tonight. After Monday's win against the Spurs, let's hope this is the start of a winning streak for Dallas. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. And you can take a look into a comedic writer's room at the Pocket Sandwich Theater in Carrollton. The show Laughter on the 23rd Floor follows a comedy legend and his writing team as they create a chaotic television show for a pinned-up network. You can find more information on that and a whole lot of other events in North Texas at kera.org/calendar. Thanks so much for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. This show is produced and edited by Shardae White and Bekah Morr. For more news in your inbox, visit kera.org/wakeup. That's where you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter and get good morning vibes from our colleague Catherine Hobbs. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at KERATX. We're halfway to Friday, y'all. See you tomorrow.